Hi everyone, it's Forsythia with CactiOnWhite and welcome to my channel. I thought I would do a quick update video on some of my favorite caudex plants that are indoors right now. I have several caudex plants in my collection. I really do enjoy them and have an affinity for different types of caudex plants. I even have a series, so I'll link to that so you guys can see some of my videos that I've done on caudex plants. So this is one of my favorites. It's the Euphorbia canuthi or canuthi, and it's doing really well. As you can see, it's sitting right here on a windowsill and it's growing quite well here. It has a great caudex base. These can get really huge, so I'm very excited about this little guy and hopeful that it will grow. Obviously I will get it outdoors when we warm up a little bit here, but this is the first one that I wanted to share. So I'm just going to go through the house and put the camera on some of my favorite ones. Not all, and I do have some that are overwintering in the garage that typically sit outside, so I won't do those, but I'm just going to do some of the smaller caudex plants that I have that are indoors right now. And this is a Euphorbia. So there are many Euphorbias that do form a caudex, which I actually love. So I shouldn't assume that everyone knows what a caudex plant is. Caudex plants are also referred to as caudiciforms. They are plants that have a fat, swollen stem or a trunk above ground. Some caudiciforms in habitat, it is below ground. Collectors usually bring them above ground and stage them in a bonsai type manner or in a pot with showing off that stem that usually or can be found, I shouldn't say usually, can be found underground. So there are many types of caudiciforms, and they are in different genuses, and you know, you can find the caudiciform genera within Euphorbias, Aloes, Cissus, many different types. You can find them in different parts of the world. Primarily, I tend to favor the South African caudiciform plants, but they can also be found in Mexico. And, you know, generally speaking, to simplify this as much as possible, you know, these types of plants, they store water here. You know, they're storing water, so they do fall within the succulent categorization, but they store water in this thick, fat stem or trunk, if you will, and they don't require a lot of water, although some do like water more than others. So you may have seen a caudiciform plant and didn't know that's what you were looking at. There are some that are quite common. If you're familiar with the desert rose, the adenium, those are caudiciforms, which I actually love, and they're overwintering right now. I have several of those that are staged for bonsai. Also, that I've shared in this tour around my home, and you have probably seen these in the big box store, is the Ponytail palm. You know, so there's some very common caudiciforms that you wouldn't even think are caudiciforms. So they're a pretty fun group of plants. I really enjoy them. As I've said before, I find them quite interesting. And just, I'm always trying to find new ones to add to my collection, new interesting caudiciforms or caudex plants, if you will. Okay, so here's another one, Jatropha berlanderii. And I love this one. I love the leaves. I love the flowers when it blooms, and it's a prolific bloomer as well. It's actually overwintering indoors right now. But look at that caudex. Isn't it fabulous? And it's growing new leaves right there, if it'll focus, but right there. Love this guy. I've had it in my collection for a few years now, and it's a great performer. So yeah, here's a close-up of a new leaf. And then this guy is a Euphorbia too. Let me pull the tag here so you guys can see. It's Euphorbia Cap Saint Mariensis. And it says cactus, but it's really not a cactus. It's a Euphorbia. But the Caudex hasn't really formed yet on this one, but these get really, really nice. So let me get the Jatropha out of the way so you can see the leaves there. But yeah, the cactus, the Caudex, if you will, is still developing. So yeah, this one's fairly new to the collection. It's a young plant, so no Caudex forming really yet, or it could be. You know, when I repot it, you'll be surprised. The Caudex is, you know, in nature, they're underground. The Caudex is underground anyway, for the most part on a lot of the plants. But wanted to share this one. This is a Caudex plant in the Euphorbia family. And then the Jatropha here with the nice fat Caudex. So yes, these are indoors under a grow light right now. So here's another Caudex plant that's in my collection, the Pachypodium spinosum. This is a younger plant. As you can see, the Caudex is a little small still, but I really love it. It has the little thorn, so you have to be careful on this one. Let me reach, but it's doing well under the grow light. It's growing too. You see the new growth there? Yeah, it's doing really, really well. It does tend to get yellow leaves that fall off, but I'm not so worried about it. It usually lives outside, and so yeah, it'll go back outside soon. But wanted to show you guys that one. It's actually getting a whole new little stem here, so that's great. But you know, a nice size little Caudex for a little plant. Next up is my Euphorbia trichadina. It's doing really, really well. The vine is extremely long. So I'll share with you guys how long this vine is. So I need to find a way to corral this vine, but I just love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, it goes a long way. It's not stopping, as you can see. There we go, that's the end. But yeah, this plant is phenomenal. So I'll turn the camera down so you guys can see that it's loving life here on the seal. So yeah, Euphorbia trichadina. So I have a couple of Discorias indoors as well. This one is the Elephantippes, and you can see here the leaves are growing really, really well. It's a vining plant, Caudex plant. Let me zoom in a little closer, a little awkward to get to. And I don't feel like moving them, but yeah. So that's the Elephantippes. And then I have another one that's smoother. It's not an Elephantippes, but I'm not quite sure which one it is without looking it up. So, but I'll show you that one as well. But this guy is super cute. Super cute. And I love the Caudex that it's splitting now and really getting some character. So wanted to share that one, and let's look at the other one really quickly. So here's the other one, and as you can see, it's vining as well. Don't mind the dust on my blinds, real life, but the vining, it's going crazy. It's all up in the blinds, but this is super cute as well, I think. Look at that, super cute little Caudex. Yeah. And I just close the blinds, and it, you know, doesn't crush them. It does its own thing. They tend to vine up into the blinds on the windowsill. So yeah, cutie. So I went ahead and pulled this one out because it was kind of in the back, but this is the little rock fig. So it has a tiny little Caudex. You can see it's in a small planter. This one tends to lose leaves quite often, so it struggles indoors, I found. But it had leaves on it, but it's lost those, and it's trying to, it won't focus, I'm sure, but it's trying to get more leaves, bring more leaves back on. But they come back and then they drop. They come back and they drop. So not sure why, but these are beautiful. So sharing that one. So I had to bring this one out because I really, really like this one. I actually did a separate video for it several months ago. This is the Stephania suberosa. Yeah, so brought this one out to share with you guys so you can see the Caudex has grown. Let me see if I can get it to focus. Yeah, there we go. The Caudex has grown quite a bit. It's still, even though technically I think should be dormant, it's still putting out new leaves, which I'm super excited about. I'm okay with that. So this is a bigger leaf that's starting to wilt away. So yeah, that's a newer leaf right there. As you can see, look how beautiful the leaves are though. But yeah, this one's getting spent. It's spent almost, so working on it. And then it's got a couple of newer leaves, like right here. This one, and then this one's newer. It's a gorgeous plant. I really, really like this plant a lot. And based on the views from the video, other people like it as well. It's a cousin to the Stephania Erecta, which I'll show you guys, but it's defoliated. It doesn't have any leaves right now. But I'll show you that one. It's in another room. But this one, still full of leaves and growing new leaves. So yeah, one of my favorite Caudex plants. And how can you not love that? Look at the character. So yeah, I just love this guy. So here's another Caudex plant that really, really enjoys vining. It has really, I guess last year it vined so much I actually had to cut it back out of the blinds. But this one is called Pentapentia natalensis. And I just really love this guy as well. The leaves are beautiful. So let me show you guys some of the leaves. Hopefully it'll show up. They're striking. They're dark burgundy on the back, as you can see here. And then they're green on the front. So this, it has actually, or had 2 vines. That's why I have 2 stakes here. So it was vining, it had 2 coming out here, and then it got here and it went all the way up, and then it had another vine. So this one, this part I had to cut back, and then you can see it wrapped around here and just following all the way up. It wrapped itself, I had nothing to do with it, all the way around the blinds going up. So it's got a lot of new leaves coming in. There is a lot of space here, so I don't know, that's maybe an indicator that it's not getting quite enough light, even though this is a pretty sunny windowsill. So I may consider relocating it, but it's a nice little Caudex. I really, really, really love that guy. And this guy likes a lot of water. So yeah. And I have a Pelargonium on the end that I'll show you guys as well. I've had it for a number of years. I think I put it in a couple of videos and talked about the very fragrant leaves. These are in the geranium family, so it smells very refreshing. I love the smell of these leaves. But this is an old plant, but you can see the Caudex there. I probably need to do a repotting and bring it out a little bit more, but you can see how thick the little vines are getting here. So yeah, if it'll focus there. And it just loves water too, but it's crazy. You can see how crazy it is here. Crazy in a good way, because I love it, but it's doing really well. And I've had it, again, this was an old plant in my collection. But yeah, it does have a Caudex, so I wanted to put it in the video as well. You can see how it's growing there. Just doing its thing. Really, really love this guy. I think Pelargoniums are underrated, actually. They're super cool. I think I'm gonna add more to my collection. This is actually the only one that I have in my collection. So I want to add more because I like them a lot. Here's a little baby Caudex plant. This is a Euphorbia stellata. So fairly new to my collection. It's a tiny one, but I love these plants so much. I have one, which I'll show you here in a bit, that's much, probably 20 times the size of, the Caudex is about 20 times the size of this little bit, but this one is super cute. But it's in here on a windowsill next to my orchid cactus seedlings that are doing so well. Show you guys, there's the other one. My orchid cactus seedlings. Yeah, but this is not a video about them. It's about Caudex plants. So yeah, featuring one of my newer Caudex plants. So I'm kind of going through the house. I'm in my office. So here is my Buddha belly plant, which has a fat trunk. Not necessarily a Caudex, but a fat trunk. So I thought I would throw it in as well. It's been losing leaves. It's trying again here. You can see right here. But it's had some issues losing leaves, so not sure what's happening there. Need to look into that a little bit more, but wanted to share as part of the Caudex plant update video. But I love this plant actually. But I say that about all of them. Don't we always say that? And then this is the money tree, which again, more of a fat trunk versus a Caudex, but I'll show you here. I'll show you guys here the trunk. But look at the leaves on this guy. Going crazy. Going crazy, crazy, crazy. Love it though. Crazy good. But yeah. So just kind of sharing that one since it has a fat trunk. Again, I'll show you guys a little close up there. And some vital toys in the way too. So yeah, that guy. So yeah. And then I have to include my ponytail palms because they do have a pretty awesome Caudex. So not a, well, I guess you could say succulent actually. But look at the Caudex there. And I have about 5 or 6 of these in the house. So here's one that's in my office, sits by a window, doing pretty good. So yeah, sharing that one with you guys too. Ponytail palm. Because look at that Caudex. So also, kind of in the Caudex family, the Euphorbia decarii. I've done a feature video on this plant, so I'll link to that, but I wanted to share that one with you guys as well. It's overwintering and doing pretty good. Some of the leaves have dried up, but that's normal. Nothing to worry about. They'll come back. So yeah, you can see here, it looks like it's rooted itself. It kind of propagates itself and spreads out in this pot. So I really love this plant. I've enjoyed this one over the years. So I would be remiss in not including it in the Caudex update. Yeah, it's super cool. So this guy is beautiful. One of my favorites. I love the leaves, the vining that it does. What I don't love is trying to pronounce its name. But I'm going to give it a whirl. Just for you guys. It is called Gerondanthus microhyzus. It's a tongue twister. But isn't it a beautiful plant? It's doing really, really well. The vines are really... It's attaching itself. It's attached itself to, actually I'm just noticing this, so that's why I sound surprised, to this philodendron red Congo. Yeah, it's attached itself. It's attached itself to the wall here. But yeah, let me stand back so you guys can see how beautiful it is. It's overwintering here in my woman cave, but it has a beautiful Caudex. Drop a comment down below. Give this video a like if you agree that this is a beautiful Caudex and plant. So gorgeous. So also in this room, there are some other Caudex plants, so let me show you guys those and get a quick little view of what's on this rack as well. I just showed you that one. That's a cutie. That's not a Caudex though. This is a Caudex plant. Well, not a Caudex. It's interesting looking trunk. You can see the name there. And I paid $8 for it. Not too bad. This guy I featured in a video has a Caudex as well, and it's in flower. It seems to always be in flower. There's the name, Dorstenia crispa. But I think it's super cute, and I love, 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 love the interesting little flower. My hand's in the way, my finger's in the way. And I like the leaves as well. But this one's super cute. Needs to be put in a white planter, which I'll do this spring. But yeah, super cute plant. So I think I will also call this a thick trunk fat plant video as well as Caudex, because I kind of lump them together, even though I know it's not a Caudex. Like these Aralias have the thick trunks, and I've done videos or featured or talked about these in videos. These will be bonsai, but you can see the thick trunk here, and it's doing pretty good. These are quite finicky. I've actually written off Aralias because the other ones that I've had have died. So I've kind of written them off, with the exception of these two remaining. I've vowed to not buy any more because I struggle too much with trying to satisfy their needs, and obviously I can't do that. So I think I found the secret to these though. They like outside. So I was a little reluctant with, you know, going into winter and having to bring them in and being able to provide enough light for them. But they seem to be doing okay. Fingers crossed that they continue to do okay. But outside of these Aralias, I won't be getting any more. And also, there's another one back in the back, not Aralia. I just noticed that Euphorbia, the Medusa back there, it's got a Caudex too, if you guys can see that. Try to focus in or bring it in closer. There we go. There we go. See the caudiciform in there? So that's a Euphorbia though. I love Euphorbias. All right. So my Caudex update video would not be complete without including this potato. No, not potato. This is my Stephania Erecta. This plant has garnered the most views. This video that I did on this plant garnered the most views on any other video on my channel. So you'll have to watch it. I will put a link to it. But yeah, this plant is one of my favorites. I have, and I'll insert some pictures, but also you can watch the video. But it is a beautiful plant. Not sure why I said it there, but it is a beautiful plant. You know, it's gorgeous when it's in leaf, but it's very, very interesting to me, even without leaves. It actually, I cut it back when it started to cool off, the temperatures dropped, because I knew I was going to bring it indoors for overwintering. So I cut the stem back. I'm gonna sit down. I cut the stem back on this one for that reason, but it started a new stem that had been growing for a couple of weeks. I noticed a little touch of green right here. And it had gotten to about right here. And I actually was going to do a video about it. And I picked it up, and I don't know what I did, but unfortunately, I knocked the new growth off. So I was a little disappointed with my own klutziness. But you can probably, if I can get closer here and try to point out, it died back. That little spot there was green, and it had grown to about right here. and then I knocked it off, and then yeah, that was it for it. So I'm very hopeful that it will try to come back, because I got excited because I love this plant and I love to see it not in flower. They do flower, but this one never has. But I love to see the leaves on it. It's a gorgeous plant. So yeah, again, the Caudex actually has grown quite larger, much larger. And I think I've recently, like last year, repotted it. So I may repot it again. And I remember, yeah, it was last year, because I remember that the roots were so minuscule, which was surprising considering the Caudex has grown, and you know, it puts out quite a few leaves every year since I've had it. And so I was shocked to see how small the root system was for it. It's amazing. But yeah, this Caudex has actually grown some. So yeah, I wanted to have to include this one in the video. It's no Caudex update without my Stephania Erecta. Here's another one of my ponytail palms. So I'll probably show you guys all of them. So this is one, too, that hangs out in my bedroom. I actually have two in my bedroom. This is one of two. So houseplant Caudex with a Caudex. I love these plants. They're so cool. And here's the other guy that's in my bedroom. Ponytail palm. Doing pretty good, hanging out for the winter. It's also not a Caudex video, or update I should say, without me showing my large Euphorbia stellata. So she's been featured in quite a few videos, so you'd have to watch if you look at the Caudex series, or maybe, I don't know, in the spotlight videos or house tour videos probably. But look at the Caudex. It's actually growing over the winter, which I think it's their growing season. South African plant here, Euphorbia. And then this is a little ficus ginseng with the nice Caudex that I've had a long time. But you can see that one, a lot of nice leaves. It's had some yellow leaves, which maybe means I've been being a little bit too nice with water with it typically. But this is an old plant in my collection. So I wanted to share that one because it does have a Caudex. So here's another ponytail palm. This one has a very large, interesting looking Caudex. Get that one. Super cool. Really love this plant. I say that repetitively, but I do. And I have the little ant plant in the windowsill, which I will share with you guys. It has an interesting little Caudex as well. And it's been dropping leaves, but it's also growing leaves, so go figure. Oh, I almost feel like I broke that. But yeah, it's a very interesting plant. It's got some new growth there. Yeah. So this ponytail palm is fairly new in my collection. I got it about 3 weeks ago for a great deal. I believe it was like $10 on clearance at Walmart. So I'm very excited about this one. Nice, healthy specimen. Not sure why it was on clearance, but I'm glad that it was. But you can see the trunk's a little different than some of the other ones that I have. And I think this makes the 6th ponytail palm in my collection. And it is, again, the newest one. So here's another one of my favorite Caudex plants, or fat trunked plants. It is the Plectranthus ernesti. I really like this one too. The leaves are really cute. They have a little fuzz factor going on. It's below a, actually I'm holding it back as you can see here. It's below this heart-shaped leaf philodendron, but for the video I'm trying to hold it back. But you can see here, hopefully, the texture, the little glistening. It's a little soft and fuzzy. It's a super cute plant. Yeah, I've had this one for, you know, maybe about 6 months, I want to say, something like that. I added it summer of last year to the collection. It's been doing okay. It would do better outdoors, which wouldn't we all? But it's overwintering indoors. But I love this trunk. It's just gorgeous, and the leaves are fabulous. So wanted to share this one too, since it's part of the collection. And I'll do another video of my remaining caudex plants that are in my overwintering space right now. So in the spring I'll do a full caudex plant review, so be sure to look for that one. But yeah, this is the Plectranthus ernesti. So I hope that helps you. If you didn't know about this type of plant, now you know more, a little bit more about them, and may find them just as interesting as I do. I do have a playlist, a caudiciform or a caudex plant playlist. So I would highly recommend that you watch the videos in that playlist and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, so you know when I post new caudiciform caudex plant videos. You don't want to miss those if you find these interesting. Give this video a like if you enjoyed the information and learned something new and would like to see more caudiciform plants. Also, again, consider subscribing to the channel. Really helps me out. Turn on the post notifications so you know when I upload a new video. I have some special caudiciform caudex videos coming soon because I placed an order and I have 2 new plants on their way here. So I'm going to do an unboxing video for those, so you don't want to miss that. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and close the video out. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.